I don't have my hearth.
If you're not lead, you can get kicked out of the group. It'll give you a hearth back.
But you're right.
Yep, just 60 seconds. Boom. RNG is good. I'm taking him. I'll use him for the boss. Oh, I got one. Cool. Alright, get mana.
Well, Jez just paid for one of my stacks of consumables. That was nice. I told him I'd run him through Ultimate for free, but he insisted. So, okay, whatever. You want to give me 20 gold?
Wasn't that nice of him?
That is nice of him. He
Well,
basically paid for my mongoose elixirs that I'm gonna have to use. Do I go through like a stack of 10 of those every time we raid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since Harbin's not gonna be here tonight, so I'm gonna die extra.
Dude, I fucking hate this guy. He's never once dropped a cape with any good rolls on it. Does anybody need those? Guess not.
Nope.
Um. Even if he did, you'd fucking taunt him off, so. So he might.
only if your tank is bad, so we might.
All right, who all's on? Kaz and Doywin are on. Supposed to be on right now. We had plans.
We're almost done with this, and we can do those jump runs.
I got this new strategy for 15-minute two-man jump runs.
Say 15-minute two-man jump runs.
15-minute, dude. Here comes some stupid fucking damage.
I still need 2 arcane crystals and then 9 sapphires. I've got all of my mats for my Lionheart helmet.
Damn. I think it was a record, dude. That was fast as fuck. Are we doing jump runs now or what?
I'm down.
Alright.
We don't have a healer though, do we? Are you gonna heal?
Let's see
Karkin.
if Life Alert will come.
It's all good. I can heal.
Okay.
I'm just like 15 levels down, but all good.
Especially jump runs, so you don't like aggro all those guys. Perfect.
It's gonna be fine. I have devotion aura. All good. I have a shield. It's all good.
I'll just invite this fucker. He's not a bad healer. I ran with him a shit ton.
The only thing he did wrong there was he was popping heals when he should. That was the only thing I noticed.
Right, he off heal. Oh, dude, there's Horde in town.
Where are you?
Yeah, there's Horde right here.
How did they get up there?
These cheeky little.
Yeah, but if you don't attack him, like he cannot attack you, right?
Oh, dude, I'm attacking him. What the fuck do you mean? Oh, he's hearthing. He's hearthing. No, 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 silence.
How the hell did they get in there?
I don't know.
Right?
Out of range. I have no idea. But I know I'm gonna fucking jump over. Hey, buddy, what's up? Oh. Oh,
Yeah, he's hard.
yeah.
Jane, you need to be like 10 levels higher. That's what you need to be.
4.
How
So we
the
can
fuck?
so we can 2-man arena runs, man. You can get all that experience.
How he got it.
Yeah, but 10 level as a holy pally, man, it's gonna be long.
Oh, he hearts out.
With that attitude, it would be.
Yeah.
Any fucking way.
Alright, how about you help me level my holy pally and I give you my transmute for free, man?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is Doombringer. Let's see. Auction value
I only-
of 20 gold. That's it? Oh, it is a two-hand.
Yeah, I need 2 more for my helm, and then I need 8 for my gun. Then I'm gonna have Joe make me even.
Yeah, but that juicy transmute, man.
This is a juicy transmute. The hard part is actually getting the material for it.
Dude, how did that guy sneak into the fucking Iron Forge?
Dude, me and Harbin have been spamming these jump runs. I've been getting lucky if I get like one a day.
Gordon, can you port us to Darnassus?
Yeah.
Did Life say he was coming? Ask him if he'll come real quick and heal us.
Impact it, dealer.
That was fun.
Actually, gonna go some food.
Wait, is Impact in Discord? That's a no. You guys want to give me an invite?
I'm selling those.
What?
Righteous ones.
Oh yeah.
I get my Crusader for free. Con.
Put it on the auction house, and then I'm gonna put all this fucking cloth bandage on there too.
got 70 gold on the auction house, boys.
I just realized I've been muted this entire fucking time.
Hey, invite Lohi so we can do this jump run.
I'm lost, Gordon. Figure it out. I pass lead to you.
Or not Lohi. Yeah, Lohi. What? Right?
How are we splitting up these thorium vans?
You get
1-1.
Yeah,
Round robin.
You get a whole
Cool.
one, and then I'll get a whole one, and then
It's
since
just
you took the first one, you'll get the last one unless there's
evens odds. Let's do it.
Perfect.
The shit auction
Wait,
house.
where's this portal at, by the way? Did I miss it?
No, I'm still here. I was just waiting
Okay.
for everybody. I didn't know if they were all here.
He's already in Feralis.
What?
Yeah, I'm just putting this on auction house.
Yeah, dude, I'm seeing if there's anybody to kill while I'm here.
You know, if we 5-man these, it'll go stupid fucking fast.
Yeah, well. Hopefully we get a book to drop.
Same.
The last 4 runs, I got a book.
I'm talking furs.
Yeah, can I go ahead and claim it? Because I really need a weapon.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't fucking need it.
Bro, it's mine. I'm gonna rock that sword.
Yeah, no, yeah, sorry. I need it for my auction house spec.
I have
Yeah.
it for. I have Hammer of Vesper, which is 7 strength, 12 stamina, and I have the fiery enchant on it. So it's the best weapon I've got.
Dude, yeah, if it drops, it's all yours.
Yeah. And we're going to, if we get it to drop and we do a Nixie tonight, I'm gonna get that bitch to breathe on it, and I'm gonna have Coruscant. I'll have Coruscant and the drill bore disc. It's nuts.
Hey, Gordon, pass me lead. Gordon. Gordon.
He got you.
I know. I'm just fucking with Gordon. Who else? Loheed?
Yep, get me in there.
I could see your name. You're not online.
I'm totally online.
No, you're not. You don't show up for me. I had to fucking type it.
I've noticed that Guild has actually been doing that. Like, sometimes I won't see people's names even though they're obviously online.
Oh, fucking 3 people online. I check it and it says there's 8, but there's only 3 names. Like, what the fuck?
I've gotten that a couple times.
We ready to port?
I'm ready. Whenever you're ready. Oh, it's up?
Yep.
Yeah, it is. If you don't have dismounted, you should definitely get it. There's a link for it above us. It's in Discord. It's a direct download link, so don't get fucking scared. I posted that, not even 2 seconds later, they're like, what the fuck did I just download?
Use the Twitch app.
Manual. I'll pop open Twitch to update shit every now and then.
I was doing manual, then it just got fucking annoying.
Oh yeah, it gets real tedious once you get past like 15. It's like, okay, I can't keep track of this on my own no more.
Well, there's a couple add-ons I need to download. Apparently, there's one called Healers Have to Die. It puts a giant marker on top of the healers.
That sounds useful as fuck.
I know. I'm gonna download that shit.
I mean, it's probably broke to fuck now.
I literally saw somebody made a YouTube video about it like just 2 days. So
What
it
are
should
we
be
doing?
good.
Low heat, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, I died, man. I got ganked by 4.
Getting clapped.
I was fucking up this warlock, and then
Way to
The
represent
rogue.
the guild.
the rogue priest and warrior came over. Shit happens, man.
It's like fucking Abe. He's like, all right, let's go over here and get farmed for 10 minutes. It's like, okay, we've all died 3 times. I can't get no more honor. Let's go over here and get farmed now. Dude, it's such a fucking long flight. We should have flew to fucking Menethol. It would have been faster.
Hey, Gordon.
Yeah.
You doing anything particular right now?
I'm with Akuma and them.
Alright. You look like someone that wanted to do Zul'Farrak. That's why. I saw it on your face.
Yeah, they're camping out front of Dire Mall now. I'll wait for you guys to get here so we can kill them.
Hi, yo, 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 yo. Welcome to the stream, bro. Hydrant boy. Or hydrant bot. I don't know how you say that. But definitely a hydrant. Hold on. I got a D20. I'm gonna roll a dice for you, okay? You can try to guess what number I'm gonna get. But we're gonna figure out if you'll ever die right here. Your number was 14. Oh shit, man. You passed the check of 10. What is 13? Number 414. It's all good though. So right now I'm grinding right now I'm in an instance all by myself, killing mobs that I see, destroying them with my supreme arcane powers. Yo, Kayla. What's up? Oh, I got 2 kitties on me. She's super fluffy. I got this cat right down here. I got a cat over here. I got a cat over here. Oh god, there it is. Yo, Kayla, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you back. I need Alright, trying to kill this mob. Hold on. Close to doing it. There we go. We got it. Oof. I was getting a little stiffy there. A little iffy. Oof. That's interesting. Kayla, you're not controlling 2 accounts, are you? I feel like my camera needs to be a little lower. Point this up, point this down. God, my cats are just... They feel like they own this place. Hey, that's my desk. That's my apple. No, I'm not farming these mobs anymore. I can't do that.
Apparently there's another add-on called Honor Spy where you can see like everybody's honor on the server.
Oh, that's cool.
Definitely
Keep it real,
download that
Hydro.
too.
You know, that's also what they call marijuana. They call it hydro. Because it means water.
Dang it.
You guys, you should stay away from marijuana while you are underage. Well, ex-boyfriend, what the hell does that mean? Me? Because I do have ex-girlfriends out there in the world, and that'd be really awkward if you were one of them. Hey, potential ex-girlfriend, how's it going? Keep it real? Oh god, there's so many.
You guys might want to group up before going towards the entrance. Yeah. Because there's like a group there. I'll res when you guys are close.
Are you guys retarded? They're here to watch me fucking play World of Warcraft. That's why anyone's here. I'm playing WoW right now, man. Look at this great game. Also, I am a fantastic person to watch. Why else would you not be on the stream, man? Hey, look at me. I'm charging in. I'm killing. I'm sundering. I'm applying a Ren. That's a damage over time spell. I'm running around. She's casting a spell. I'm gonna apply a hamstring so she can't run away. I did a thunderclap, and I'm gonna do a heroic strike next.
There's so many fucking add-ons.
I'm gonna play another rend, and she's getting low down. Her health is super low right now. She could run away, and we killed her. 230 experience. Bam. Now, I know you don't see that type of shit every day, because a lot of pussies play WoW. Like this guy. See, he pulled 2 at a time. He was getting greedy. Now, I don't know if he can handle this. We'll have to charge in there and help him. He couldn't handle 2 at a time. He had to run. He had to figure that one away like a little bish. We'll help that little fool out. Hydrant is my ex-boyfriend. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you guys broke up and you aren't gonna stay together forever.
Dude. The number one
As
guy
relationships
who
are
lost
when you are
me
10 years
from
old,
107,000
most of them don't make it to adulthood. Sorry. You guys were just another statistic.
Oh, sorry, no.
Rest in
that's
peace,
this week
relationship.
So far. Last week it was at 180.
May your future ones be more fruitful.
Yeah, I don't know. how
Charging
you
in there,
get that
applying a
much
rend.
honor.
Harvest Golem. Yeah, I need something to riff off of. So I got some articles I wanted to go over. They're kind of political, but they're kind of boring. But they're kind of I don't know. I
See if
find
can
them
find the
interesting.
highest out of our guild.
Why can't I
It's on
figure out
paper.
why he is here? Because he wants to watch me play. Why don't you ask him? Yo, Hydro.
They would just camp in the storm.
Hydro, don't leave. No, bro. Hydro, you can
Nick.
stay.
Yeah, Nick was 31K last week.
Kayla, you can't be like that. Both of you hate me. I managed to piss off all of my fans. None of you were my fan. I get it. I still think this is Kayla's one account, so she's switching back and forth. Because I haven't seen both of you in the same place at the same time. No, you are posting at the same time. I'm joking. Whatever. You guys keep it real. I'm hanging out. I got banned from Mixer, by the way. I'm sad about that. Anyone care about me? Anyone asking how I'm feeling? Banned from Mixer?
Oh, there's a big group out here now. I can only see 4, but there might be further out of my death distance. Like,
So,
Board on the boat, though,
Hydrant,
and
do you
boat,
like...
and,
You like World of Warcraft? Okay, Kayla. This is cute. You're really funny. Man, I hope you don't get a virus on your phone of all these screwy apps you're using. Let's go in for another grind session. Kill this little demon. Almost didn't do that in time. No, I like putting knives on my wrists. That's why I broke up with him. Wow, that's so edgy, Hydrant. You put knives on your wrists? You know, my wife used to do that a lot. Cut herself for attention. Do you need attention? Are you being ignored, Kayla? Or are your parents overbearing? I guess all kids, when they get to be like teenagers,
People
they
are
always
starting to
like
show up now.
they always want their
We got
parents out of
17
their
people
lives.
online.
Now that I'm like in my 30s, I wouldn't mind being a little closer. Ugh, this is so. I'm gonna go spend the night at my girlfriend's house tomorrow night. Ugh. That's cute drama. I broke up with you because you hate everyone. Huh. Well, don't hate everyone. To get rid of expressing, he hurts himself. I don't think that's how that works. I think people hurt themselves for attention, primarily. But yeah, no mentally healthy person should be hurting themselves. There's threats of hurting themselves, sure, for attention, but actually hurting yourself, that's a cry for attention, in my opinion. Something's wrong there. To get rid of your attention, he hurts himself. Unless, you know, there's like a 1% or like a 0.5% or like a 0.1% of people who are like fucked up and they like that shit. In which case, good luck living like that. I wish you the best. Fish is leaving. Our cats are fucking up the furniture. I got banned off a fucking Mixer. I'm still upset about that. I can't believe that happened. Banned from Mixer.
Dude, this Honor Spy add-on is cool. I recommend everybody who likes the PvP to get it.
Better
It
get
kind
it.
of it shows where with what your honor you have, it kind of estimates what rank you'll be after if you just had that amount of honor. So like I know with my current amount of honor, I'm pretty much guaranteed to keep rank 3 if I want to just keep rank. Pretty cool. It also estimates me where I'm at in the standing of all the alliance.
She doesn't anymore. That's the thing. She stopped.
My bad, I'm back.
Well, how about you use a rubber band instead? And you take the rubber band and you go. Psh, psh.
People are all over the fucking map, huh? Don't everyone talk at once.
I was just waiting for you guys to get here. There was a group of them out front. I don't know if they're still there. I've been laying dead.
Dude, Git is getting fucked up by a Shadow Priest and a Mage. He was polyed, and then I seen the fucking vampiric shit on him.
Should we get this guy?
Yes, we should. He's gonna fear you. Got him. TT curse. Yeah.
Fuck!
My healers have to die add-on is targeting impact right now.
Fuck. I fucking died. God fucking damn it. Still makes you wait to log out. I ate this apple.
You hear him? Gator don't play no shit.
I like sneeze in a second. Well, it was running back. I died because I fucking failed. I have this cat toy. I'm gonna go throw it at a cat. See how they run.
Smell me?
Okay, the cat that runs isn't here. I'm like, okay,
Oh, where's it?
bye. Take care.
I got fear.
Oh no.
I guess other people would say, don't go. No, wait, stay.
Damn, are you guys getting fucked up by a shadow priest? And a mage?
Let's get some music
Don't
playing.
say
I need
fuck
some.
that, I
What is some really good music? Couple adopted adult sociopath posing as a child.
I'm up on the road. I'm gonna come to you, and then we'll both walk over together. Somehow I feel like I'm about to get ganked though.
I'm currently
Feeling
looking
my
at.
bones. Maybe it has something to do with all the bones laying on the ground around me too.
Johann Gottfried Gau was searching for
Come to
something.
the road, south,
A
south.
mysterious, theorized planet. Since Uranus's discovery in the
No.
1750s, astronomers noticed it had an irregular orbit. It was hypothesized for
Okay.
decades that there was another far
I
more
head for
distant
Diamond.
planet affecting it. In 1846, while pointing his telescope at the night sky, Gau found it. The eighth planet, Neptune. Located 4.4 billion kilometers from Earth, it was so dim that it was discovered using mathematics and the laws of gravity. Just 30 years earlier,
How do you use the laws of
first
gravity?
human set eyes on Antarctica. We observed
Come back,
7
back.
out of the 8 planets of our solar system before knowing about the existence of
Stars
a
are rolling
landmass
around us.
larger than Australia. And that's simply because Antarctica is a world of ice.
It's hard to get
Difficult for
to.
any human to travel to until the 19th century. Before those glaciers, it was as diverse in
Healer,
life as any other continent. That
Wow.
was until 35 million years ago, when the Earth's temperature plummeted. Antarctica's native fauna and vegetation, having nowhere to go, separated on all sides by ocean, eventually dwindled and became extinct. So what if this was never the case? What if Antarctica was a green continent?
He's gonna put a bunch of like pictures of
During the
greenery
Eocene epoch
over
from
Antarctica.
56 to 33 million years ago,
Just go
the
rest
entire
it.
Earth was far warmer
we
than
can't
it
rest
is
it.
today.
Never mind.
According to NOAA, it was from 9 to 14 degrees Celsius.
Oh no! Did everything die off? Huh. Wow. Global warming. De-fucking bunked. No, seriously. What the fuck? Look at how come nothing died off?
Hotter on average, or around 16 to 25 degrees.
Jesus
hotter for
Christ.
Viewers.
Okay, now remember. This is on average, okay? So you think in averages, you think the lowers and the uppers are both going up at the same amount. But no, that can't happen because water evaporates when it gets hot. So by lakes, later marshes, those type of things, they can only go up to like water boiling point or way less than that usually. For the water starts quickly evaporating and cooling it off. So really what happens is all the cold parts are just being raised up and the warms kind of stay the same.
While it doesn't seem like much of a change, this had drastic results. Even in regions near the poles, there have been found fossils of palms and flora that only could have existed in a warm climate. Antarctica's coast at this time would have resembled Florida or Southern California.
Wow.
Thanks to a higher concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere and warm ocean currents brushing up against Antarctica's coast. We have an equivalent scenario today
We
with
definitely-
England.
which ranges from a temperate to Mediterranean climate, despite being the latitude
Coming up the
of
diagonal
Canada.
now.
Without the North Atlantic current, Europe would resemble in many ways Russia. A city like Moscow doesn't have access to the warm air from the ocean as a city like Dublin, which is why their climate differs so much despite being near the same latitude. 50 million years ago, Antarctica probably had
What
the
is going
same
on, Blizzard?
gradual
Come on.
transition of biomes, much like Europe. This is where I want this alternate timeline to begin. The global climate remains the same that it was during the Middle Eocene. The continents still shift like in our timeline, same map as the present day. The climate is just different to allow Antarctica to not be this. I know it's absurd, you know it is, and while it's scientifically improbable for Antarctica to remain green, let's go full alien space bets and roll with it.
Where is Akuma? I don't see him.
I'm right outside.
50
I'm
million
fine.
years ago, Antarctica had two closely connected neighbors, South
Fucking
America
weird. Get
and
outta here with
Australia,
that shit.
allowed for terrestrial mammals and other animals to cross
Fuck 'em
between the
up,
three.
warrior, fuck 'em
Which
up.
leads to the first question. What type of mammals would have actually populated Antarctica? There are three types of mammal groups. Placentals,
Dude, my
those
kid's
that give
fucking
live
freaking
birth through the
shit out of
womb,
me.
monotremes, the weirdos that lay eggs, and marsupials,
Okay,
whose young
that's
goes
cool.
inside their pouch, which acts as an outside womb. There are far more differences, but these are the most notable distinctions. Placentals and marsupials diverged from one another 160 million years ago, when the Earth looked like this. And even though both, before that asteroid ended the dino reign, were small and mouse-like, they were still distinct groups. And once the dinos were gone,
Carcat.
the competition began. Marsupials surprisingly evolved in North America, some of which migrated south.
Get the hell off my computer.
Split apart. Placental mammals thrived in the northern continent Laurasia, eventually replacing marsupials on their own original home. But down south in Gondwana, marsupials were starting to evolve in South America, filling new niches. And those marsupials crossed farther south into a still green, lush Antarctica. By 50 million years ago, a few had even reached into Australia, diversifying into the strange fauna that populates the continent today. Antarctica could
People
have been,
hate-
or at least would have been, just as rich in marsupial life as South America once had, or Australia still has. Australia, before the arrival of humans,
Priest first.
had large megafauna.
Yeah, please first.
Perhaps Antarctica
I'll
had
go
the
down
very
there.
same,
I'll go down there.
especially since marsupials crossed into this continent first. Since South America would lose its large marsupials once
Ooh, I
colliding
can't
with
remember
North
this
America,
fucking thing.
which is an entire story in itself, by an alternate
Fuck you.
modern day, the only two continents
Shit.
with large marsupial megafauna
Let's head for the
would be
insults, I guess.
Antarctica and Australia. Australia is practically one large desert except for the east coast, the good coast. But Antarctica would be full of dense forest and large mountainous biomes. The Transantarctic Range is the sixth largest range on Earth, longer than the Urals, Appalachia, and the Himalayas. Perhaps given the chance we could see strange alpine marsupials convergently evolving to fill
Ooh.
the same niche as mountain goats or cougars. Antarctica
Ooh,
would
that
have its
sounds
own
fun.
vast range of unique animals, but evolved over 50 million years to become stranger and distinctly unique to the landmass. Even with the land being generally warm, the Earth's axis wouldn't change, which means living on Antarctica would still be strange because of, well, the seasons themselves. Antarctica only has 2 seasons, summer and winter, and during the winter,
After we
there is
finish
no
our first
sun
clear, we
for
can,
4
go
months,
check to see if
while
they're
during the
again.
summer, there is
can't
constant
harm 'em.
daylight. For the life on this continent, the natural pattern of the seasons simply doesn't exist. It'd be a land of
Oh, got 'em,
extremes.
got 'em, got
For
'em.
plants, if there were large forests, they would lose their leaves even
forever
during
spent so
mild
retarded.
or not winter conditions, simply to retain
be
energy
there
without the
eventually.
sunlight. So with all that said, let's get even weirder. Let's add some humans. Okay, stick with me. Without Antarctica's ice and a far, far warmer planet, humans and certainly the modern 21st century civilization we see today would not exist. Think about the coastlines and how dramatically that changes the fate of every influential civilization of our own history. But let's have some fun with this idea. Don't take any of this really seriously, it's just a thought experiment. The rest of the world is at the normal temperature and history is entirely unaffected. In such an alternate timeline, there wouldn't be any humans that set foot on the continent, at least until recently. Human migration across the continents occurred during a time of lowered sea levels, even into Australia. But there never would be a possible land bridge between Antarctica and the rest of the world. Antarctica would remain a time capsule left to its own localized ecosystem for 30 million years, until, that is, with the arrival of the first humans. So who would be the first ones to colonize this land? Well, I'd assume it'd probably be around the 1200s to 1400s by the Polynesians. The Polynesians blow my mind in how they successfully colonized so much of the Pacific, finding just small volcanic islands thousands of miles away from home. If Antarctica never had ice, the first people who probably would have landed onto the continent would have been the Maori sailing south from New Zealand. Word spreads of a giant unknown land far south, and explorations began alongside the coast. Let's just assume the temperature of the coastline remains tropical like it was in the Eocene. This continent is still a strange land for any humans that set foot on it. Imagine what unique marsupials and animals from South America could have diversified into for the Maori to see. This habitable, warm continent, for 4 months out of the year, is in complete darkness. For a people who had the sun and moon as gods in their mythology, periods where they simply don't appear could have profound impact on how they viewed this land, or the legends of a new culture. Entire traditions and events occurring annually with the disappearance or arrival of the sun. If there was a period of eternal night every year, perhaps this is prime opportunity for mushrooms and fungus native to the land to spread in the dark, making this land, while Polynesian, a truly distinct and almost mystical area. Depending on how far inland they go, I could imagine any megafauna on the coast losing numbers drastically. Historically, humans arriving anywhere doesn't work out for the local animals. As history continues on, eventually the age of exploration goes into effect in Europe.
Help, help.
It's from that.
He's killing himself. No, he just sent me a picture of a gun pointed to his head.
Europeans would
Oh my
believe
God.
that Antarctica exists.
That sounds crazy.
Even before actually seeing or ever hearing about
You
it.
better call the
For
police on
centuries,
him.
There was a legend amongst explorers, just like El Dorado or Prester
That is the
John, the
highest
mythical Christian king of Asia.
One,
The
though, that
idea
one right
of Terra Australis,
That
a
one's really
fabled
good for
massive
things around
continent
Daily.
in the southern hemisphere, proposed by Ptolemy.
Like,
It was to
if you
rival
get- if you
Eurasia,
get a-
because the world had to be balanced, of course.
you get, like, a
In our
really fast
timeline,
weapon,
after centuries of
like a good
exploration,
fast weapon, like
only
your son
one
or
new
something,
landmass was
and put that
found to be
fire blazing
farther
shit on it,
than
it's really
any
good for
other.
everything.
The Dutch called it New Holland, because of course they did. Once the British took over, Australia was deemed to be a more suitable name. There is no probability that any other detached body of land of nearly equal extent will ever be found in a more southern latitude. The name Terra Australis will therefore remain descriptive of the geographical importance of this country. Yeah, about that. Since Australia was already awkwardly
Wrecked.
given that name once Antarctica was eventually discovered, difficult ice to sail through will do that, another name now had to be given. Well, what's the opposite of Arctic? And so Antarctica was given its name. Without the ice, Antarctica would be discovered probably around the same time as New Holland.
Arctica.
It'd be an actually habitable landmass with settled people, and the farthest most continent, just like the legend said, Australis. The Australia of our timeline would probably just be called New Holland, which I don't think anyone really would have stuck with. Alamora, which James Cook thought that the Maori referred Australia as, but it was actually another island, or perhaps Sahul, from the first Dutch names of the region.
What the
The
hell?
interesting thing with European colonization of Antarctica, or now called Australia, is
Brilliant.
it'd be on the exact opposite side of the continent as the native inhabitants, at least for a time.
Oof.
Since the best shipping to the Pacific would be through the Drake Passage, Europeans accidentally discover Antarctica by its northernmost island. What kept explorers from discovering the Antarctic Peninsula in our own timeline was the icy sea, a barrier basically discouraging any further exploration south. Even Captain Cook had to turn back during his voyage, saying, "Screw this. If there is a Terra Australis, it isn't worth it." Without that obstacle, Antarctica, or at least its 2 islands, are found far sooner. A race for this new continent is assured. A new Antarctic colony probably wouldn't work out fantastically for Spain in the long run, considering how their own empire was looking around the 18th century.
Dude, if
The
we
Dutch
got
really
one
only
more
cared
hero,
about
we can
trading
finish
partners,
this.
so maybe a few near the Polynesians. Most likely the British would be the empire to settle the most people on the continent. How successful any European colonization effort would be is, well, up to debate. The Falklands, which is the closest in terms of British colonies, was abandoned
Because if we
on
get
one
2 groups
occasion
going, dude,
due
that'd
to
be so
economic
sick.
hardships.
We could
Just
probably
like
get
any
3 or
venture,
4
its
easy.
likely expeditions are made,
Like right
and since
for
it's
the
so
wave,
far
15
south,
runs,
the
3
difficulty
man,
with
3 to 4
settling
man group.
Australia is those 4 months of darkness. In a
Yeah,
time
it's
before
like,
electricity, the only natural light would be from the moon or fire.
Oh, yeah, he
Fire
fucking
in
raged
itself
out on it.
requires
I don't
fuel.
know what the fuck
For
his
any
problem
people
is.
living there, forests are constantly cut down or coal is mined.
Shadow
Even
Race?
for the
I don't
British,
know what he can
this
do.
land could put strains on their empire. Any venture into Antarctica is dominated by the cycle of
Oh,
2
okay,
seasons.
so-
Cool, though.
2 seasons.
I don't know, I haven't
What would that be like? You would have like 3 months of summer.
Who's he sacrificing?
You would be drinking at night. How would that be?
What sacrifice? Oh, Hunter one. That's good.
Yeah, it's like, what, 60 gold, something like that?
Not even. They're so cheap right now. The priest one's only going for like 25. That's like the
Ooh.
best one. I bet you Hunter one is probably like 15.
I guess I'm gonna find out, huh?
There's a book on the far side in there. Can you mind control over there and see if there is one?
Already looked, it's not there.
Oh, okay.
Do
You got that,
do
Louis?
do do
Yeah, I got it.
do.
They're coming back now.
Yeah, it's really easy to time these guys.
I know, but I'm just saying. I was giving him a heads up. Being that
Gets over here, get nervous. He's like, no, dude, they're coming.
just being that ultra friendly guy.
Like, see, I'm in the path of 2 of them. I wouldn't stand where I am. This is a bad
Yeah.
spot.
Oh, I got lashers. Oh, I'm gonna die.
It was
got-
Ding,
nice
ding,
knowing
ding,
it was
ding,
I
I
pulled a
leveled up.
fucking lash.
Can we get? I can't see you.
Ren does 35% more damage.
Can't
It's
say
resin,
no.
right?
Keep it rolling, baby.
Yeah,
Cool.
this is a safe spot where I am. I always try to
job.
resin shadow for him.
Good job, Lohi. Just dying in a safe spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that every once in a while.
They're coming back.
We
We
don't
should
even need
start
to worry
tagging a
about
bunch of
that stuff.
mobs. The picture will become a reality.
We killed it early.
Please don't harm anyone with guns.
You want to grab me a drink when you get a second? Okay.
Does anybody have any Silver Sage or Plague Bloom they'd be willing to sell?
I mean, I got like 5 stacks you can have.
Oh shit.
Why? What do you need it for?
Elixirs.
Probably mangoes.
Cool.
Yeah, mongoose.
I mean, I've literally just been. I took herbalism to give all my mats to Abe. I'm not even joking.
Because the mongoose elixirs are just getting so expensive for my blood.
You're only playing 4 5 gold a pop.
Dude, it's not just 4 or 5 gold a pop, dude. I get killed on a lot of those trash pulls as well.
Yeah, and that's
So-
just a wasted fucking potion.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I killed the boss and I didn't die, sweet. And then we go to those ads where they stun the entire group. It's like, oh well, there goes that. We're like on Ragnaros, dude. That was funny.
I wouldn't know.
He got to execute phase and we're trying to burn him, right?
Yeah.
So I fucking popped my recklessness and started executing. And I started pulling so much fucking threat, dude. I ripped threat from, I think Mono had it at the time. And he just one-shot me. Oh, we got a tree, by the way.
Oh no.
Oh, what the fuck?
Maybe we should de-aggro this and jump up.
No, just kill it, dude.
Okay. I don't have any
We
mana.
we got a group of 5.
Okay. I'm gonna pull the tree.
I got Taunt on standby.
Bye.
So that was the plan, was to pull the tree. I'm gonna pull this Lasher though.
Explaining the geography great, but so they occupied the Sinai to the south,
I
and
like
they
to hear
moved up
that. Yeah,
into
I
the
wanna
north.
see
They
that tonight.
occupied Lebanon and a little bit of
It's good
Syria. They
because
occupied the West Bank and the Golan Heights. They occupied all of Israel. So after the 67 war, they
mean,
occupied all
you-
this land.
Don't go.
They withdrew from Syria. I think they maintained control of Sinai for a
thinking
little
about
while,
Maybe.
but they
Yeah,
had
yeah,
these.
Blood.
They had military control over the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, and they never pulled out.
Nice.
They retained sort of military control over these two places, and I think everybody acknowledges that that part is basically acceptable in the sense that after this war,
Oh, yeah. I
Israel
was clear on
maintained
all
a
three of
military
these.
presence there for the sake
I
of
do
their own
too.
defense. So the argument goes.
Unless I'm doing it
I'm not
solo.
saying that I'm in favor of a perpetual
it's
military occupation of
fucking- no.
Palestine, but
I don't fuck
a
with
military
these guys.
occupation is one thing after a war like this. The
Alright.
problem began when Israel began to put civilians into the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, building housing complexes and what they call civilian settlements, and having Israeli Jews move into these Palestinian lands where it should be Palestinian.
Yeah, I know, dude.
And they're building homes, they're establishing
Dude, I'm in a I'm in
communities,
dungeons,
these, you
and
know,
they're
that's
like,
what they're called, they're
hey,
settlements.
stop pulling aggro.
And so
I'm
in a
like, "There's
sense,
nothing I can
what
do
this
with my
constitutes
whirlwind
is
crits for
colonization.
people."
You know, it would be comparable to
Like, what do
if
you want
America
from me?
fought a war with Mexico. It
It's a
might
part of
make
my single
sense that
target
for
rotation.
a time we had some kind of military presence in Mexico to make sure that we could control our border and make sure that, you know, a revanchist Mexican offensive does not originate in Mexico and come after America in the aftermath of the war. They don't, you know,
Like,
reconsolidate
well,
and
fuck
come
it, just
back
let me
for us.
take NDPS.
But it
and
would be
you can just
comparable
kick
to if
this
we
dude out.
occupied Mexico and then we started sending Americans. We started
Yeah,
sending
that's
a
why
bunch
when
of
we
lost
do these jump runs, I don't actually go
from
to
Boston
Protestants.
and
I
maybe
just go to Super
Southerners
Saiyans.
from Alabama into Mexico
Because
and
I'm
putting
like,
up
"Don't pull
buildings
threats,
and
I'm
saying
not
this is part of
taunting."
America now. And expanding America's borders into Mexico
Oh, I
under
need
the
to go on my
military
own, take
occupation.
it.
That's the
If you
rub
fucking-
for
hey,
most
try
countries of the
cleanse
world.
the-
The
cleanse that
United
disease.
Nations international law is the civilian settlement
And the
process
poison-
because, of
the
course,
poison
this is
really, really,
naked
really hurts you.
expansion. This is just naked colonization. And I don't really have strong feelings on
You're
this.
so late on
You
it.
know, I
It's
really
like
fundamentally
all the
don't
mana.
really
Yeah, I know.
care
can
on
only
an
do
objective
curses.
level about what happens between
Oh, you
Israel
can't
and
do poison?
Palestine. Of course, my
can do
concern is
poison.
always what
Yeah,
is good
the
for
poison.
America. What policy that
Oh.
Israel is pursuing is good for America, given that we have unconditional support of Israel?
I'm standing here for
What
moral support, I'm
arrangement
not actually
between the
doing anything.
Palestinians and Israel is
Don't
going to
worry,
help
I have a
us?
big stick
How
and
does
I know
that
how
play
to
into
use it
our dynamics
for 4
with
damage.
our relationships with Arab leaders in the Middle East and with Israeli leaders? My concern is not in itself international law or who's in the right, who's in the wrong, but it's moreover, you know, what is going to be the best arrangement that will help us maintain good relationships with both Israel and these Arab Muslim countries. So that's the context of this. And as I said at the top of the show, the American position in Israel for 40, 50 years has been we believe that the settlements are illegal. And I've debated a number of Zionists about this. All the Zionists say, well, that is the American policy, but we don't think it should be. And so when Israel has flagrantly gone against us for 50 years, we have told them, we have admonished them since 1967 to stop building settlements. Even this president I think it was his
Think-
first press conference after getting inaugurated was with Benjamin
We should all go out
Netanyahu. It was
together.
one of his first
We
press
should all go together
conferences.
and then go back.
He
to the
explicitly
beginning, see
told
if there's,
Netanyahu,
order there.
hey, could you not build any more settlements? Could you cool it with these civilian settlements? Because as I said, for 50 years that has been our policy. And why is that? Because the more Israel expands, the more these civilian settlements encroach on Palestinian lands, the worse this makes our relationship with Arab countries. Arab countries
a
perceive
fucking
us,
Wingstop
and rightly
sitting at the
so,
door the other day,
as being
got me.
unconditionally supportive of Israel.
I couldn't
And
even
so
get
when
my
we give
fucking log
Israel
today.
our
It was
unconditional
stupid. I didn't
diplomatic,
just stop
military,
it.
and political and economic support, and Israel is expanding these settlements, and that is to the
Yeah, it's
detriment
like
of the
14 minutes.
Palestinians,
Oh,
who are
fuck.
appealing to Arab leaders for
we
moral
didn't need to do
leadership and
too.
moral support in the
Fuck.
international community, it puts us in a tough
you don't wanna
spot
go too
with the
fast,
Saudis, with the
'cause then you just
Jordanians, the
walk out.
Lebanese, the
Let's
Syrians,
go,
Iranians,
hunt some horror
all
films
the
or
Arab
something.
governments in the Middle East who don't want to see
Well,
the
except for
Palestinian
Nicholas, shoot
lands
the ribs
ethnically
up.
cleansed or colonized or whatever. So our policy actually makes a lot of
Nope.
sense. We've been in favor of the
Don't you
two-state
hit me,
solution
cunt. Don't do it.
insofar as Palestine can have their own territory and
There's
we
sanctuaries.
have
Isn't
some
he,
guarantee for them so that we can have a diplomatic relationship with the Arab Muslims, but also obviously respecting Israel's sovereignty so that their lawyers and donors from AIPAC don't primary all the politicians in Congress. I mean, that's essentially why we have this position. And it's been the position since the 67 war. Donald Trump this week overturned that and said now all of a sudden we support unconditionally the civilian settlements. We don't think they're illegal. This is terrible. This is a horrible development because in doing so we have in a de facto way given credence to the idea of a one-state solution. We have supported the idea that Israel should have unconditional land, right? Everything that was in the original mandate of Palestine, which is going to hurt our relationships with all these Arab countries, anybody we hope to do diplomacy with, and even the Muslims themselves. You know, it's worth noting that a lot of the terrorists, including Osama bin Laden, Ramzi Youssef, the World Trade Center bomber in 1993, a lot of these high-profile terrorists and terrorist groups, one of the biggest grievances they cite against the United States, why they terrorize our people, is our unconditional support for Israel and Israel's colonization of Palestine. And that is why, for example, Osama bin Laden declared his fatwa against the United States in, I think it was 1998 or 1999. One of his primary grievances and most prominent throughout the fatwa, his declaration of war against the United States, was our unconditional support for Israel and Israel's their situation with Palestine. So I'll read you, this is an article from Brett Stevens, as I said, writer from the Jerusalem Post. He is a Jewish Zionist. He says this was actually the one thing that Donald Trump gets right.
Yeah,
I'm quoting here. He says, quote, in this week's Middle Eastern news, the Iranian regime has reportedly killed more than 100 of its own people as it attempts to suppress another wave of nationwide demonstrations. The Islamic State is taking advantage of Turkey's invasion of northern Syria to regroup. Governments in Lebanon and Iraq remain paralyzed by popular discontent, and Israel has struck dozens of rockets near Damascus after intercepting Iranian rockets fired from Syria. Into this thicket of trouble, Mike Pompeo announced on Monday that the State Department would reverse a 41-year-old legal opinion claiming that Israeli settlements in the West Bank were inconsistent with international law. The decision has garnered outsized attention as if it's another gratuitous Trumpian obstacle on the road to peace. It's not. To paraphrase Ariana Grande, we have one less problem without it. Which, by the way, don't you love the way these people talk? Rob Smith.
I'll be right back real quick.
Y'all like Cardi B? Jewish Zionist Brett Steven. To paraphrase Ariana Grande, we have one less problem without it. I just sort of hate that. I hate that they take this horrible, degenerate popular culture and they use it to justify, in the case of Rob Smith, anal sex and the normalization of homosexuality. In the case of Brett Stevens, you know, basically unconditional support for the Zionist project in the Middle East. In any case, he writes, I rarely have anything positive to say about Donald Trump's foreign policy, and his overall approach to the Middle East is damaging and potentially disastrous for the United States and Israel alike. His policy of negotiating our withdrawal from Afghanistan, his policy of withdrawing from Syria, he thinks that's a disaster. He writes, and this is the key. This is the key end to this paragraph. He says, "America cannot turn its back on the region as Trump would like to do, and imagine the Middle East will return the favor." So Brett Stevens says we can never leave the Middle East. We can never turn our back on the region. In other words, we must maintain a permanent presence in Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, all the countries that we're currently occupying. He writes, "And Israel will not be safe in an America First world in which allies like the Kurds are cavalierly betrayed and enemies like Iran are haphazardly confronted." I'll read that to you again. He says, "Israel will not be safe in an America First world." That is verbatim what Brett Stevens says. And to me, the Israel-Palestine thing is not really a huge deal to me. Obviously, I care about America. We understand the ramifications of the Israel-Palestine conflict for our diplomacy with other countries in the Middle East and a number of other things, right? I mean, it is a flashpoint in the world for conflict, and there's a lot riding on the outcome of that situation. But to me, this sentence says it all, because this paragraph is not simply about Israel and Palestine, it's about the whole Middle East. Brett Stevens is painting a picture here of a foreign policy that Donald Trump has, where we're trying to withdraw from Afghanistan, we're trying to withdraw from Syria, we're trying to take our troops home, we're trying to minimize our involvement overseas and focus more on rebuilding the homeland. And Brett Stevens says this is a disaster. He is framing that as us turning our back on the Middle East and expecting them to return the favor. What exactly does that mean? It almost even sounds like an ominous statement. I mean, what is that supposed to mean? Is Brett Stevens implying that we'll be attacked? He's saying if we turn our back, we cannot expect the Middle East to reciprocate. Does that mean that they won't leave us alone? What exactly does that mean? What business do we have there? What interests do we have there? What does he mean that they won't turn their back on us? Does that mean there will be more terrorism if we turn our back on the Middle East? Is he subtly implying that if we are not currently, for example, occupying Syria for no reason at all, there would be terrorist attacks against the United States? If not for the 1,000 troops in northeastern Syria simply preventing Assad from consolidating control over his government, consolidating control over Syria, that there would be, what, terrorism in the United States? It almost even sounds like a threat. Every time these people talk about this issue, they always hinge it on the fear-mongering, right? They always hinge it on the fear and this hysteria and alarmism that there could be another 9/11. Dan Crenshaw's fond of the same tactic. He says, well, we fight them over there, so we don't have to fight them over here. Well...
Yo. I'm live. Got cats. Let me mute the mic for a little bit.
Got lagged. Uh-oh. I brought friends.
Oh, just a couple lashes.
I wonder how many friends I can actually bring you. Because another friend. Fucking dude's hiding in the corner, fucking whacking it.
Waiting for you. Some voyeur shit.
What he does in his break time is none of your business.
Yeah, but he's whacking off in the fucking porta potty that everyone else uses. It's my problem. Hey, get.
That poison slow is no joke.
I know, dude. It's like being fucking sat by a rogue.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for this next boss. Full rage. Let's do it.
Should I just come in late? Yeah, I'll come in late. See, I hope.
I couldn't even execute him. That was gonna be a beautiful execute.
Which is better, this or that satire bow?
Wait,
Sat-
link it again?
Satire bow, 100%.
Yes, it's that
It's so hard for tanks to get hit. You need that hit, man.
Yeah, you know how you get all those fucking white glancing blows? Imagine if they all changed to yellow and they weren't glancing anymore.
Well, it's not glancing blows. You can't reduce that actually, but
You can.
no, you cannot. If you have a 40% chance to glance no matter what, you can reduce the damage reduced by glancing blows, but there's always a 40% chance to glance.
Wrong. You can do it with weapon skill.
No, you cannot. Weapon
Yes,
skill
yeah.
reduces the damage decreased by 40% to 15%, but there's still a 40% chance to glance.
It reduces glancing blow chance. It depends on
Awesome.
people, though.
More like they just wanted you to stop doing
Yeah,
what you were
yeah,
doing
I'm saying
before,
on a boss.
completely half-assing it.
Okay, so yeah.
If you just put in like
on a boss,
an
there's
8
always a
and a
40%
9-hour
chance to
day every
glance
day or
blow.
10-hour day every day, you'll be
But
fine.
the damage is reduced.
Stop
by-
doing 6-hour days.
So normally
Well,
it's a 40% damage reduction from a glancing blow, but with a plus
Actually,
5 or
work.
8, it's 15% damage reduction. And
Yeah.
then if it's just
That's huge.
Whatever the fuck
though.
you were doing.
it is huge. Yes, it is. But you still have 40% chance to glance.
Did anyone talk to the tree?
Get around those days and run around and actually face.
No,
Wah, 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 wah.
Where's the tree at?
Who's fucking way at the
Think
other
you-
side of the room?
The huge ass one?
Yeah,
Are you going or you want me to go?
I'm going.
you guys want to clear these lashers while we wait?
Sure.
Dude,
Get to
if you
finish
could
your
see
loads.
where I am right now.
I gotta love when stuff's immune to your damage.
Yeah, I hate that.
Also, you were half-assing it a lot more.
Well, no, I also like switched it.
I'm gonna go try to get this dream foil.
I get fucking tonight.
Oh shit, I got a ghost mushroom.
Good shit.
What?
The one and only store I looked at was awful. What the fuck?
Yeah, no.
You
that-
got a 0%. One of
That like happens to me. I
One
do
lash.
freaking 10 out of 11 stores, and he checks the one I didn't do, and he's like, "Oh, it's freaking awful," and I'm like,
Calling him.
working for 11 hours, 10 or 11 hours, I'm fucking done.
Squeak. Squeak.
They were talking about the Groipers.
You know, we don't have to fight them over here if we just didn't bring them here, right? But in any case, so he says that America can't turn its back on the region. Pulling out of the Middle East is turning our back on the region. And he says that Israel will not be safe in a world of America first.
What the
So
hell does
if
that
we
mean?
put our country first, and we say America first, and we put our interests first, and that means putting our troops perhaps on the southern border instead of on the border of Syria and Turkey, he says that Israel will not be safe because we've abandoned our Kurdish allies and Iran is going to expand. And to me, this highlights the fundamental issue in our
I
foreign
wonder why these
policy,
little bastards have the
which
best
is that you
grades.
have the neoconservative establishment comprised largely of Jewish Zionists, and that's not everybody that is a neocon is a Jewish Zionist,
I know we were
but
fucking
almost
amazing,
all the
man.
influential ones in government and in media are that. You know, Shapiro,
Dude, it's
Brett
30
Stevens,
silver
Bill
each.
Kristol, all
I'm
these
showing you
characters.
I'm watching this
Sure,
spreadsheet
Dan
and I'm
Crenshaw
giving
is
you one
a
of these.
goy, okay? He's a white guy. He, I believe, is nominally a Christian, perhaps. I'm not sure about that. So not every neocon is a Jewish Zionist, but we understand there is an overwhelming influence, and we know why that is. The neocons are trying to push us to go to war in the Middle East to benefit who? Who is the beneficiary of all this? Israel. the war in Iraq,
I'm trying to
the
sell a lot of pots on
destabilization
the
of
auction
Syria,
house.
the war.
She's
in
excited to
Yemen,
kill shit.
the
Help her
saber
kill
rattling
shit.
with
Like,
Iran.
you know, like
Israel's the
fire
ultimate
and
beneficiary.
tree
They are
farm,
the one
selling
demanding and calling on us to
great
do
fire
these things.
protection.
So the fundamental distinction within the
Make, like,
conservative movement
fuck
is
different
the
people with
reality
the,
of the
uh,
neoconservative establishment and to
Impact?
some extent the
sorry.
military-industrial complex and the deep state, but primarily the Israel lobby, AIPAC, the neocons, the commentariat, influences in the DoD and the State Department. So you've got this reality of this institution which has existed on the right and prevailed for decades, and you've got the rhetoric of the Trump administration, which is America first. And these cannot coexist. Because America first says we have to pull out of the Middle East. We have to put our own country first.
Actually, yeah,
Our
'cause
concern
the
is
US
America
countries-
first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. That's our only concern, in fact, right? And that means that we're not going to be fighting other countries' wars.
Awesome.
We're not even going to be concerned so much with other countries' safety. If they want to protect themselves, they can buy guns from us, right? They can, you know, have some kind of, I don't know, diplomatic relationship, but we won't fight other countries' wars. And particularly in the White House, this
But do you want a
conflict is very
president?
apparent between the rhetoric of Donald Trump throughout the campaign and even in his administration about pulling out of useless, costly, endless wars in the Middle East, letting the Muslims fight over sand, and we're going to put America first and pull out of Syria and so on. And this influence from people like Jared Kushner, who's very much in bed with, you know, the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and all these other Zionist influences like Sheldon Adelson from the funding perspective, and the ZOA, and all this. So within the right, you have this fundamental clash, and this is one of the big debates that we've been having with Charlie Kirk, which I'll get into in a moment when we read his piece for American Greatness. But this is what we've tried to expose. People have said, oh, you're obsessed with Israel. You're fixated on Israel. Why is that your number one issue? It's not. But foreign policy is a big issue. Foreign wars, you could say, have been the biggest sin against the American people, the biggest waste, the biggest insult, in the sense that we've spent $6 trillion in 20 years fighting wars that are unwinnable and not in our own interest. Well, our own people die, right? Our infrastructure crumbles. We can't fund anything that actually helps our own people. So of course it's not to say that
maybe you're just
Israel
getting
is
patches
just
of
a
ice.
fixation, but
They
the
weren't.
foreign wars are, and who's sort of
Oh.
at the foundation of that? Who is the basis from which we have launched all these wars? Well, I think it's the Israel lobby. That is why this fundamental difference must be confronted and discussed. This issue has to be forced. And I read this from Brett Stevens, and it's actually some pretty striking intellectual
How about
honesty.
breaking? How is your
He
breaking compared to
saying,
them?
Quite straightforwardly, you cannot have it both ways. You cannot have America have this unconditional support for Israel, protect Israel from all her enemies, and be America first. Israel is not safe in a world of America first. And Brett Stevens says if Israel cannot be safe in a world of America first, then America should not be first.
Because it was so heavy.
That's essentially what he's saying, right?
All the
And
fucking
so
slush
the
splashed all
real
over me, so it was all
takeaway is
wet.
that the America
Aw.
First policy,
yeah, that might
according
be
to
thrown
their
wet after
definition
that.
of anti-Semitism, is implicitly, is very implicitly and necessarily, according to their hokey definition of anti-Semitism, it must apply. Because people like Ben Shapiro and Brett Stevens have said in the past that if you're anti-Zionist, you're anti-Semitic. This is what Ben Shapiro says. Somebody asked Ben Shapiro at one of his college speeches, or maybe he was on a radio show long ago, he said, why have you said that being anti-Zionist is anti-Semitic? And Ben Shapiro gave a very interesting answer. He said that, of course, the Holocaust happened, so in order for the Jewish people to survive, they need a homeland of their own. In order for the Jewish people to survive in the
Interesting.
homeland of their own, they have to be able to protect themselves against Iran, against other countries.
Hey.
And so it's a very interesting sort of chain of logic. So he says that if you are not
Sarah,
for
do you hear what Ben Shapiro just said?
So, interesting answer.
Ben Shapiro?
No, that's not Ben Shapiro. But he's quoting Ben.
the fuck?
Okay, listen.
That of course the Holocaust happened.
Right.
So,
Look at her,
in
she
order
knocked
for
your
the
cat
Jewish
off the
people,
desk. She's being a cat. She's knocking your shit off.
Anyway, so
to survive, they need a homeland of their own. He said, why have you said that being anti-Zionist is anti-Semitic? And Ben Shapiro gave a very interesting answer. He said that, of course, the Holocaust happened, so in order for the Jewish people to survive, they need a homeland of their own. In order for the Jewish people to survive in the homeland of their own, they have to be able to protect themselves against Iran, against other countries. And so it's a very interesting sort of chain of logic. So he says that if you are not for Israel defending itself, if you're not for America defending Israel, then he has this roundabout justification that then you are not in support of Jewish people existing, and therefore you're anti-Semitic, right? Because the argument goes that if America was not unconditionally supporting Israel, Israel could not protect herself. If Israel cannot protect herself, then the homeland of the Jewish people doesn't exist.
They don't.
Because there was a couple times where I
But-
read like a lot in a row.
Bullshit.
This is they use the Holocaust to guilt trip us to pay for their country.
But no,
Yeah, it does. Did you reset it, by the way? Come on.
I'm muted. Yes, it's reset.
I wish there was a giant country that'd pay
Plug-ins
for our
muted was
defense.
so fucking bad. I taught the DPS like overall, everyone, every fucking poll
And what?
in the Pug MC that I did, cause I missed MC. Hey, look, a hunter. He tried to feign death or something.
she's terrible.
I'm
We
not-
should stop supporting them.
I got a dead pixel right here. I'm sad.
I have like fucking 5 on my screen when I bought it, so
Yeah, these fucking hyenas are like right here.
If the homeland of the Jewish people is under threat or could not
So
exist,
hold on. No.
well-
so now play the argument to white people. Don't
Alex.
white people deserve a homeland?
Oh, there's nobody here anymore.
Oh, you wanna bet? I bet there's someone right here. Oh, that's why.
Alright.
Yeah, yeah, there's no one here.
Thanks for the fucking insult, Grandpa. Thanks for calling me poor.
well, no.
How do you afford a tattoo? It's like, how do you have money? Yeah, I have money.
I have money because I'm not.
But he's saying, how the fuck do you have money?
I don't drink alcohol.
Or he's saying like, maybe he's.
Alcohol's expensive, actually. If you were like addicted.
Fucking 19 things.
Like, cause remember when we would go to the bars for like one fucking night?
Yeah, dude.
We'd go to like
whenever I
one
put a
bar,
shitload of
and we'd
scrap
spend
in
like
my,
60 fucking
back
nights.
piece, I
We've
would
been doing that
I would
every
grab
night.
holy water. I would ask
Oh,
everybody if they even if they take the
Well, actually, what you do is you'd buy like a 12 pack to drink at home.
it helps.
I know, but like there are some people that go to the bars every night, and like
Well, yeah, that's just because you're trying to pick up chicks. You're not trying to fucking because you like alcohol. If you like alcohol, you just do what Philip would do. You just drink at home alone.
but that's still like
I see. This guy
Yeah.
got out.
6-pack a day is like what?
I think he got executed in a single hit, dude.
I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't even charge them.
Oh yeah, well, how many dabs do you do blow through a week? Divide that through daily. So $40 a week divided by 7 is almost $6 a day.
Yeah. I was comparing it to going out.
I need to set up some more macros, like when fucking.
Yeah, well, if you fucking smoked out a lot too, you don't though. You smoke at home.
I need some macros too. I need one on nature swiftness.
Like all of my skills are macro.
You gotta compare apples to
Hey,
apples.
no, if you want, no, you're comparing like.
We have 3 different stances that we utilize it in every.
My equivalent is like buying a fucking vodka.
I don't
Like,
exactly
vodka
need to
every
drink a
day.
6-pack a day. I could buy a 12-pack and it would last me 4 days.
No,
Free cans.
my equivalent is like I buy
Sometimes
really.
if you were like low
Come
on,
out, come out. I caught him, bro. I caught him. Come on, come on.
you can still overpower if you do.
I'm
get
the
low.
classy drunk.
Oh, this dude is so pissed because I mind controlled him. Oh, he got out? No.
Yeah, you gotta.
Dude, no, it's the double ice block that's bullshit. That just, like, it breaks silence and everything. It shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, this overpower add-on I got, dude. It's so handy. I need to tell Penny about it because it increased my DPS by so much.
That was me, bro.
Oh.
I would really like to pick up the thorium shield spike recipe. That would be so nice.
There's a dream foil like right there.
Way.
You can probably get to it without pulling anything.
Oh, definitely. There's a Groom's Blood and a Dream Foil there. I'm gonna grab them both. I'm just gonna wait till they pat. I can't. I have to wait till they pat away.
Lohi, do you need sharpening stones?
Ah, you pulled.
Yeah, it's time to fight.
The dense ones, no. I need the elemental ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
like
asked you to make me enough
girl
for like,
butts
basically
and
like
stuff.
3 weeks worth of rating.
That's
No,
what
boy.
Napoleon
Yeah,
like.
no, I was just gonna bring that up. Like, I was like, wasn't there some?
He'd write his lover letters, telling her not to shower because he's coming home soon.
Badass. You got the elemental pack.
Can you be extra filthy, please?
Because like, right now I gotta go through all the Jacko.
Gross. The fuck.
Oh, I'm fucking dead.
Like the smell of her stinky ass crack. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's all this dirt and sweat
I popped that fucking pod by accident.
and
Like
shit.
burrs.
The
But
fuck
it's-
is
but
wrong
it's
with
on
this
her-
old
It's
guy?
on her butt.
I could
Nearly.
just put it on the way back.
They didn't have
That
go
gets
like
them
they
all-
even had shittier hygiene back then than the
Yeah, and that makes them more distinct.
And you more excited. Yeah, that's how Hitler liked it.
Fucking ferocious
Yeah, go
bastard, dude.
straight for the neck.
Fucking 507 crit on that rabbit.
Oh
David,
god,
David,
I just fucked up Sarah.
That's brutal.
Today I'm gonna ask a mage to put a max level intellect buff on me. Maybe I'll hit my 300 boast.
There you go.
Because apparently intellect increases the rate at which warriors gain
It's
I lived, thank God.
everybody's
No health and no mana.
intellect.
I did a pull when I wasn't ready for it.
So if you have like a bunch of gear, you can go put it on and just bash a bunch of.
That was
level
really
shit
bad.
And up your weapon skill.
I'm just curious, how much money do you have?
I should do that. Shazra, dude. You get way more shots on Shazra.
There's an ad back here. Turn around. Oh, it's fucking me up too. The slow is fucking real. I don't know where the fuck he came from.
I thought he
Slow,
usually
like-
spawned in there, but
Oh,
we
he
ran
passed
through it.
Good.
He wasn't there.
I mean, if I just start eating those twice a day, those will last me like
See where
3
the
days.
4R on the left by the pod.
The Grim's blood right there. Yeah,
He'll pad over there.
gotcha.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
pizza. I gotta eat that pizza still.
There's something
If
like
anyone else in here has herbalism, feel free to grab these herbs. I don't even need them. I just give them to Abe.
I have it. I mean, if you're giving them to Abe, it's fine. I don't really care. I just use them to make money in potions these days. Trying to get. the best
Imagine
of
being
you know?
51 and calling yourself a dark. That's Teddy Spaghetti.
No.
Come over, he's half fucking dead already.
Do you want to get that Groom's blood right there?
Yeah. Tricksters first.
There's a ghost mushroom in the back corner. I can get that without having to pull. I think.
imagine
Ow.
streaming with your
sorry.
cocktail on your shoulder.
I was drinking and didn't realize you were getting so fucked up.
Oh, that stun's no joke.
At it.
We should be alright. This one first.
I meant for parrots.
Hey, Naki, I heard you got your
Can I run the
dagger
burgers?
dressed, man.
Finally, yeah, I'm so stoked.
That way when we do arena runs, we just do Anger Forge and arena.
Doesn't matter because I only need like so many, and then I stop buying them.
I know, but they were like, oh, birds are so much cheaper where I live.
Do not need it.
That's because you fucking are poor too. How much money do you make? What's your car? What car do you drive? What's your house worth?
Because, like,
I thought it was. And you said the barber.
posted,
Oh, their
birds
house is
in the
worth.
store.
Oh, their house is worth $16,000. Okay.
Non-ranked is gonna be better. Because the
Right, I get you. Yep.
Weapon
So
skills
it's
the
like
best
damage.
stat.
Yeah, he doesn't even
Yeah,
know the
'cause weapon
taxes.
skill isn't
The tax-
as important for dungeons, but it's super important for raids.
Yeah, because of the boss. Fucking
Yeah.
level difference.
I was like, if someone accidentally killed my
I
bird.
stepped on that thing and pulled.
You have my one card.
Oh yeah.
Can I have that back?
No,
Yeah.
I don't have any AoE. I can take out the big guy. I'm pulling him right to me.
Should have realized.
I mean, you might need to heal.
I can't heal. Oh no. Yeah, there's not even time for me to heal. Gordon, shield on you.
Clicking.
No, I was just laughing.
We should have this.
I paid the mortgage every month. And I
Blink out as soon as you get low.
Should have known those things hurt, judging by you getting messed up just like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
How about you get all of your paychecks and you get put in the negative?
What are
That's
you
my
spending your money
situation.
on?
Nothing.
Red's good.
I didn't even have my Hodge on, dude.
Got bills. Credit cards going through. I got new lines of credit we opened up since we got the house. 2 new lines of credit, in fact.
I mean,
these guys
Oh god, now I'm
Paid
talking about.
Lowe's?
Yeah, I'm paying all the bills.
nope. They just do the numbers. I love picking extra damage. It's the best.
Was this our third run?
Yes.
Third
Mm-hmm.
time's a charm, boys. We're gonna get Corsair. I got a feeling.
I mean,
Dude, I hope so, man.
Where's the, so did the books just drop like randomly?
no.
There's random spawns in the instance itself, and then there's the chance for it on the bosses.
No,
Gotcha.
a chance. It can drop from anything in here. The bosses just
Gotcha.
have higher chance.
I need my druid book.
Those are rare. I almost never see a druid book. I've never seen one drop.
Yeah, I haven't seen a druid one either, actually.
It's pretty good. It's like plus 40 on a trinket healing.
Hey, it
Oh
get.
wow, that's
Do you
amazing.
want the warrior one? Get? Do you have it?
Yeah, I've already got it.
Yeah, I really need that trinket.
Dude, I was so not ready for that pull.
Here, I can heal you.
I have no. I don't have any mana.
Oh yeah, you can't life tap. Oh,
And I can't shield you when you get